Hey everybody, this is Sarah. I am going to show you the first video in how to get started on your Bitmoji virtual classroom. So there's Stephanie and I, we're at the beach today, obviously nerding out with our books and our list of things we're going to learn. So today we're going to learn how to put a background in, how to do transparent objects, which you'll understand that afterwards, how to add your Bitmoji and add a friend, ordering objects and using shapes. And then Stephanie's going to do a video where she goes into a little bit more depth of how to link things and how to use it, how to save things, how to link things, how to make them PDFs. We are by no means YouTubers. We are both equally nerdy and equally willing to take a risk and dive right in. And so we want you to dive right in with us today. So the first thing I'm going to do, most of you, if you've been following our Facebook comments, have made a Bitmoji. And you've added Bitmoji to your computer as a Chrome extension. So what happens is it comes up here in the corner. It's this little Bitmoji icon. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to open your drive and you're going to create a new slideshow. You can make virtual classrooms in many different programs. Stephanie and I have kind of talked about different things. I started with Google Slides. I started actually with Google Drawing. Stephanie started with Google Slides. And what Google Slides does is it allows you to kind of have all of your different classrooms as different slides. If you want to, have different variations. And then if you want to actually use one, you can do something with just that slide. So I'm going to start in Google Slides. The first thing I'm going to show you is how to add a background. So I'm going to go to Insert Image. I'm going to search from the web, and I am going to do a search for classroom, wall and floor background. So this will give us the wall and the floor. You can see there's lots of different options. You could actually search classroom background. You could search office background. But when you search background, it takes a lot of the other bells and whistles off of the screen and just gives you the background. We have several folks that work at Kramer. Shout out to Kramer Elementary. And so they have a sliding glass door in some of their classrooms. And so this almost looks exactly like it. We're going to cover up some of the pieces that don't. But let's say that that's my background. Okay. I'm going to add another slide, and I'm actually going to get rid of that background. And for my next slide, we're actually going to be at Comerica Park. Stephanie, I saw your Bitmoji, and you are a Tigers fan, so we're going to go ahead here and find ourselves outside of Comerica Park. We are going to save the image. So with 2 fingers, I'm going to click on the screen. I'm going to save the image as. It's going to save it as the entrance to the park, and then I like to just drag it onto my desktop because then it's easy for me to find. And then what I'm going to do with that is I'm going to drag that park into our show. Into our slide. I'm going to edit just the bottom real fast, get that off so it looks like we are really there. Spread it out a little bit. So that's 2 different ways. One, finding a background that's already in the Google Slides templates. Also searching Google, but then if you want something specific like your actual school building or your actual, sometimes when you search in Slides, it doesn't give that to you. So that's 2 ways to add your actual background. The next thing I'm going to show you is how to add objects into your show. So what happens is in these classrooms, what looks really cool are some of the objects. So I'm going to go to Insert again, Image, I'm going to search, and I'm going to search for transparent table. This means it's going to give me a table, and it's not going to have anything in the background or anything behind it. So if I have this table, I could even search transparent desk to find the one that I want. I'm going to go back to table. Let's just drag this one in. So when I drag my table in, you'll see that you get the table, but you don't get any of the background that comes with the table. So let's pretend that we have our table here. And then let's pretend Mrs. Pearson can probably change the color of that table. That's what she's going to talk about in her video. So I have my table. I'm going to add another transparent image. I want to add a transparent chair. let's say that I want a, let's see, I could pick this one that looks kind of like a desk chair. So I'm going to pull that in. And again, you see no background. You're going to size it down to what you want. It can be next to the desk, next to the table. You can do transparent shelf. And you can have any of these wall shelves. You can have a bookshelf like this. You can have a transparent floor plant. And so let's say, oh, that doesn't look like what I need. I drag that in. Whoa. I can put that over here next to my, maybe I put that next to my door. There is one that I really like. I'm going to go open a new window in Google and I'm going to search for a bookshelf. There was one yesterday that I picked out that I really liked, and I want to cover up part of that door. So what I'm going to do is I don't want this one to be transparent. I actually want it to look like a shelf. So let's say I pick, where was it? I'm going to save this image. It's going to come over here. I'm going to put this bookshelf in my slideshow. So what you're going to see is now I'm going to make it bigger. And I'm going to try to cover up this part of the door. Bear with me. If I double click on the image, I can actually crop it. So I'm going to now crop off these edges. I'm going to make this a little bit bigger. Adjust it around. I'm actually going to do, I'm going to do this one. So here I am saving it. I'm going to then drag it onto my desktop. Now I'm going to crop it because I don't want the background, but I don't want to see that door. So I'm going to try to maneuver this bookshelf so that the edges are cropped off, but it still covers that door. Something like that. Mrs. Pearson is going to put some books on that bookshelf, but for the time being, you can see that my bookshelf kind of covers up my table, and it looks a little bit weird. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to click on my table, and if I two-finger click, I can actually go to Order, Bring to Front. So that table now can come in front of the bookshelf. Okay. I can also add, let's say I wanted a welcome banner, and I wanted to put the welcome banner above my doors. Let's see. I could save this one. So here I'm just saving images and dragging them in. I'm doing a little bit of cropping if I need to, but I'm able to take my images, drag them in. This one's going to need to be cropped a little bit, so I'm going to just get this other one off. I'm going to move it around. So I have my welcome sign, I have my bookshelf, I've done some transparent images. Lots of teachers, especially, you can do classroom calendars, you can do coat hooks, you can do lockers, you can do clocks, you can do lots of different posters and different examples. So this is just an idea of how to get images in. You don't have to have these exact images. The next thing I want to show you is how to get your Bitmoji. So if you come up to the top to the Bitmoji extension, you might have to log into your account, but what you're going to do is you're going to try to find a Bitmoji that matches kind of what you want to happen here. So a lot of them is just part of your body, or it has a lot of words, but if you actually search Bitmoji for photo, it will come up with a lot of these that are already standing. So I'm going to drag one of my Bitmojis in, and I'm going to stand over here by my table, and I'm going to I am going to tell you that Mrs. Pearson has shared some of her Bitmojis with me. So I'm going to copy some of hers, and I'm going to bring one of hers in. So now we're both in this classroom together. On my account, I can only get to my Bitmojis. And on her account, she can only get to her Bitmojis. So a good way to share, if you're a teaching team or a partner group at school, a good way to share your Bitmojis is to just copy and paste them into a slide and then share that slide. For this case, Mrs. Pearson has shared with me, so we've now added myself and Mrs. Pearson. I'm going to come over here to Comerica Park. It's the same thing. Go to the Bitmoji. I'm going to pick one where I'm cheering. Go Tigers. Drag it in. Drop it. Comerica Park's the same way. If you want to add images, you can add images. If you want to, I think I saved a mask the other day. Maybe you saw it on my Facebook. So if I take this mask and I want to make it pandemic appropriate, I can come over here, just kind of position it. Now you want to make sure it's in the front of my body, but I can adjust it and move it around like so. The next thing that I want to show you is how to order some of your shapes, which we've already done a little bit of. So let's pretend here that I wanted this chair to come in front of the table. I could click on the chair. I could two-finger click and come to order, and I could say bring to front. Oh, that was the desk. Order, bring to front. So now the table looks like it is behind the chair. So if you wanted to move things around or have the plant or have the table in different directions, things going on like that, you certainly could. The next thing I want to do is to show you how to do a shape. If I wanted to put a frame on the wall, let's say with a picture, or let's say I wanted a magnet or something on the door, I could actually just take this, I could take a shape, I could create whatever I want, I can fill it with the color that I want. And so I can use the tools actually from Google too, from Google Slides. So let's say I wanted to pick, Mrs. Pearson likes to do rugs like this. You could pick any of these shapes if you wanted to put something on the wall, or if you wanted to make a frame, you could make a square. So these are just the basics. This is how to get your slides together. This is how to get your Bitmoji in there. This is how to get things transparent. Mrs. Pearson is going to do a second video, and she's going to talk about how to make it a little fancier. Can't wait to see what you come up with, and I can't wait to learn from you.